Howdy doody, everyone. Welcome back to the Hold the Line Sports channel. Today we got a special one. We're going to be going over every single SEC game. I'm going to predict every single one. You guys have seen my college football playoff predictions. We're going to try and keep as close to that as possible. But those of you know were that was almost a month ago, so things have changed. And we got some news coming out of each camp, like DJ Lagway's in a boot start a camp, and we got some QB battles going on. So we'll definitely see how it shakes up. But yeah, we are going to go ahead and get right into it. Not have a giant long intro or anything like that. Yeah, let's get right into it. So these I'm going to go every prediction for an SEC game this year, and we're going to go in order. So week one, we got Missouri. Week one's pretty light. We only got a couple good games really. So I'm gonna go Missouri. They're gonna beat Central Arkansas. Ignore the scores. That's just how it does in this little simulator. Arkansas is gonna win that game. Florida's gonna win. UGA is gonna win. Sneakily, this game's gonna be close, but I think Kentucky pulls it out. Ole Miss is gonna win. Mississippi State's gonna win. OU's gonna win. A&M, I think A&M's gonna be good this year, but it's gonna be close. This one's gonna be close in the first half. A&M's gonna win. Vandy's going to beat Charleston Southern. It's pretty easy. This game could be decent. I do think Tennessee ends up winning it. And then Alabama will beat the brakes off FSU. But then, yeah, those are all probably the easiest games for each week, in my opinion. This one up here, though, starting with Baylor Auburn. I'm high on Baylor. I think Sawyer Robertson's the truth. But I do think Auburn's going to be much improved this year. I just think their schedule is pretty tough. I mean, this is tough out of conference to start when you have a new quarterback, especially going to Waco. So I'm going to go Baylor in this one. And then Texas, Ohio State. This one's tough. It's one of the games of the year, the week one. But as you guys know, Texas is my national championship pick. So I'm going to go Texas. I'm a big believer in Arch this year. I think he's going to get it done. And I also do think Texas has less question marks going into the year. Really, the only question mark for them is quarterback. Ohio State lost a lot on the O line, lost a lot on that defense, and lost quarterback. So they do have a lot of questions, but I think Ohio State's still going to be really good. But I got Texas winning that one. This one is another one game of the year. This is probably the second one I'm most excited to watch, besides the Texas and Ohio State game. But I do think Clemson takes that one. And then this one, sneaky. I think Virginia Tech comes out week one and beats South Carolina. Kind of just puts a sour taste in their mouth. Because I think South Carolina's riding super high this year and kind of wanting to bring that momentum from last year, but I think they're gonna slip up week one. Then week two, it's a lot of stinker games again. Alabama's gonna beat ULM. Arkansas is gonna be Arkansas State, I hope. Auburn's gonna beat Ball State pretty easily. Florida's gonna beat USF. UGA is gonna beat App State or Austin P. Crazy. And then we get into a game where this was a trap game for Ole Miss last year. They lost this Kentucky game, and it kind of, it ended up screwing them in the end. But I do think Ole Miss gets their revenge. Revenge on a Kentucky team is wild. LSU beats Louisiana Tech. It's pretty easy. And then this one, I think it's pretty easy as well. Arizona State's going to probably beat the brakes off Mississippi State. This one, sneaky. Jalen Daniels is going to probably be able to do some stuff, but I think do think Missouri beats Michigan or beats Missouri or Kansas. Jesus Christ! In this game right here, I'm excited for this game right here. Did I not pick an OU game for week one? Why did they say that? Oh no. Oh well. Yeah, I do think this is going to be a fun one. But I do think no. I'm gonna give it to OU. OU is going to win this game. OU is going to win this game. We're going to beat Michigan in their house. South Carolina is going to be South Carolina State. Tennessee is going to be TSU. We're just going to go pretty quickly on these. In this game, sneaky good as well. But I do think Virginia Tech beats Vandy as well. Ignore those records for Virginia Tech. I think they're going to be better than 6-6. This is just kind of a simulator thing. It did every other game except the SEC. And then Alabama beats Wisconsin in my eyes as well. So yeah, and then on to that's week three. Auburn is going to beat USA, but University of South Alabama. I got them. UK is going to beat Eastern Michigan. But in this game right here, Florida, LSU. I really want to pick the Gators here, but going into Death Valley is going to be tough. I think LSU wins that game. It's going to be a good game, I think. But I think going to Death Valley, it's already confirmed 7:30 start. It's a tough night game for us. Tough night game. I think Ole Miss beats Arkansas. Mississippi State beats Alcorn State. There we go. Missouri beats University of Louisiana. OU goes to Temple, oddly enough, and wins that game. And then South Carolina is kind of getting on the roll there, and they beat Vandy. And then into another big game, week 3 kind of seems earlier than normal than when they play. But I do think Georgia beats Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee is going to be all that great this year, guys. Don't think they're going to. And it's not even because of Nico. I think even with Nico, they were an 8-4 team at best. Now I think they could legitimately not go bowling. Texas beats UTEP. And then another big game right here. A&M versus Notre Dame. This game, if it was in A&M, I'd have A&M. Not like with a landslide, but I'd be very confident in that pick. But I am still going to go A&M. I think A&M is going to be really good this year. And they're going to beat Notre Dame in South Bend. Arkansas is going to be, Memphis is going to be Arkansas. Arkansas is not going to be that good this year. In Memphis, they're going to be sneaky this year. That's week 4. Now into another game. Florida gets the revenge. They're not losing to Miami again this year. And I think this Florida defensive line is going to be able to put Carson Beck under pressure and force him to mistakes like we did when he was on Georgia. And these wide receivers at Miami are nothing compared to our secondary. LSU wins that game pretty easily. Ole Miss wins that game. Shout out Tulane, though. They're going to be solid. Mississippi State beats Northern Illinois. You never know, though. They beat freaking Notre Dame last year, so we'll have to see. Big game here, too, as well. Missouri's undefeated. South Carolina needs to bounce back. I think South Carolina gets it. North South is just going to be really good for them this year. And then Auburn, OU. 2 teams that really have a lot of, to prove, but also kind of a lot of hope this year, even though they weren't that great last year. Good rosters, I think. It's just their schedules are so brutal in the SEC. But I do think OU gets it done. They beat Auburn. And Jackson Arnold does not win in his return back to Norman. Tennessee beats UAB, obviously. Vandy lost to Georgia State last year. It's not going to happen again this year. I think they handled that one pretty easily. And then Texas beats Sam Houston State pretty easily, according to that 2010. Then week 5 now. Notre Dame is going to absolutely probably beat the brakes off of Arkansas. Alabama, Georgia. This is a big game. Alabama kind of dominated the first half last year. Then Georgia came back, and then Ryan Williams saw the touchdown. I think this year, Georgia's going to get him back. Alabama 3-1. Georgia's going to be 4-0 after this week. 33-18. Check the parallels on that. That's crazy. That was the national championship score. LSU Ole Miss, another big game. But I do think LSU goes into Ole Miss and wins that football game. It's a very, very good game right there. But I do think Garrett Nussmeier gets in there. Tennessee, Mississippi State, I think that's pretty easy. Tennessee, Missouri, UMass, pretty easy. Missouri, South Carolina, Kentucky. I think Kentucky is the worst team in the SEC this year. It's either them or Mississippi State. So South Carolina's going to win that one. A&M, Auburn. I think A&M's got that one. I think Auburn has a lot to like. It just really depends on Jackson Arnold. The receivers are good? Can he get them the ball accurately and well? I do think, and I think it's kind of a slow. I think this is kind of Auburn's going to be what Florida was last year. Start slow, end the year hot, and save Hugh Freeze's job. I think that's what happens. Vandy beats Utah State as well. But then we also saw last year, now week 5 into week 6, Alabama plays Vandy again right after Georgia. But this time, Alabama didn't win. So they're going to be mad. Alabama wins that game right there. And then another big game, and you might call me a homer for this pick. I do think Florida beats Texas in the Swamp. It's going to be a night game. The Swamp is a ridiculously tough place to play. Probably be Texas's hardest environment since joining the SEC because they had a lot of big games at home last year. This will probably be the first environment away from home in the SEC that I think is going to be absolutely bumping for him. UGA handles Kentucky. Shout out Blake. Oklahoma beats Kent State pretty easily. A&M beats Mississippi State pretty easily. And then Georgia versus Auburn. I think Auburn kind of hits their stride and upsets Georgia right now, right here. Auburn hits their stride like, oh, we got something here. Georgia's not as good as they were. Auburn upsets them. LSU beats South Carolina pretty easily. And then Washington State, Mississippi, Ole Miss wins. Alabama coming off a win, they beat them as well. And this is into week 7 now. Tennessee, I think we win that, or that Tennessee beats Arkansas, and then Texas bounces back after a loss and puts OU in the Red River Showdown. If you would have told me 4-1 Texas playing 5-0 OU in the freaking Red River, that is college game day. Like sold college game day, 1,000%. Then Florida versus Texas A&M. I think we're coming off a big win. Kind of just hit that little low right there. Lose to Texas A&M. Texas A&M is going to be really good. And then Tennessee versus Alabama. I think Alabama handles this now into week 8. Alabama handles this pretty easily. Then A&M beats Arkansas again. I think they're going to be really, 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 really good. Really good. They might have been a team I missed in my playoff. I've gotten a little higher on them now. I've seen stuff happening. Elko's been and seen some rumors around the horizon. I think Auburn beats Missouri. I think Auburn gets on is a little hot. Florida handles Mississippi State pretty easily. I think UGA kind of gets their get back against Ole Miss, and then Texas beats Kentucky pretty easily. And then I think South Carolina beats OU. I think they go on a little skid here. South Carolina, a little hot, and I think it's kind of just beaten. The SEC teams are going to beat each other up this year. And then LSU wins that game. Auburn versus Arkansas. And this is into week 9 now. I think Auburn stays hot, 5-3 now. Arkansas is not going to be good this year. And then I think Kentucky finally gets an SEC win. They beat Tennessee at home. I don't think Joey Aguilar is going to be able to do much. It's probably be one of the more rowdy environments at Kroger as well. And I think LSU hands A&M their first loss here. This is probably game day. But I don't know the other games in week 9, but this is definitely going to be a really big game. I think LSU hands A&M their first loss. Texas beats Mississippi State pretty handily. And then I think OU gets back on track, 6-2. Versus Ole Miss. So kind of just takes Ole Miss out of the picture. But I think OU gets back on track. And then Alabama beats South Carolina once again. And then Missouri beats Vandy. Into week 10 now. I think Arkansas beats Mississippi State. They finally get an SEC win as well. And then I think Auburn beats Kentucky. Auburn 6-3. Kind of started out slow. Getting a little hot here. Then, bold take. I think Florida beats UGA. If we had DJ last year, we win that game. And I do think these teams are more evenly matched personnel-wise now as well. I think Georgia took a step down. Florida's taking a step up. And I need it for my narrative. And then I think Ole Miss beats South Carolina. I think they kind of bounce back from their loss the week prior. And they beat South Carolina. And then Oklahoma beats Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee's going to be that good, guys. Really don't. Texas beats Vandy pretty handily. And then I think Alabama staves off LSU, so they're now 8-1 in the conference. And then we can go down and look at these standings for the SEC going into like the final home stretch in the last 3 games, last quarter of the season. We see a lot of good teams. I mean, Georgia's a playoff contender, but they're 7th in the SEC. That's freaking crazy. Absolutely wild right there. And then now we go back up to that. Florida beats Kentucky, stays in, 7-2. Ole Miss beats the Citadel pretty easily. UGA beats Mississippi State. A&M beats Missouri. And then now we go Auburn beats Vandy, stays hot. Beats OU, kind of knocks them out of the playoff a little bit. Now it's 7-3. Um, and then I do think Texas goes into, or I know we're gonna give it to it. We're gonna give it to UGA. They beat Texas at home this year, and kind of and cement themselves. And then we go, Texas is gonna win. Texas is gonna win. No, UGA is gonna win. UGA is gonna win. That one's gonna be a tough one. I think UGA pulls it out at the end. I think Kentucky gets in or beats Tennessee Tech. LSU beats Arkansas, and then I think Florida beats Ole Miss, stays in the playoff hunt. And then Missouri beats Mississippi State. Tennessee beats New Mexico State pretty easily. I think it's a slip up. South Carolina beats Texas A&M. This happened last year. I think they kind of got their number. And South Carolina beats Texas A&M. Now into week 13, so the final weeks. This is what the standings are looking like. Texas kind of all the way down there. Alabama, LSU. These standings are wild. Coming down heavy to the last week. Alabama. This one's kind of like the tune-up week a little bit. But I do think Florida beats Tennessee. UGA over Charlotte, easy. That happens. And I think OU beats Missouri. I think Missouri's kind of kind of not going to be that great this year. Bo Pabula, we'll have to see. South Carolina beats Coastal Carolina. Texas beats Arkansas. Texas A&M beats Samford, and then Vandy beats Kentucky. And then going into the last week of the season, Georgia beats Georgia Tech. I think 10-2. That solely gets them to the playoff. I don't think they. And then Arkansas, they beat Missouri. It's rivalry week. I can't say that, but it's weird. Alabama beats Auburn. Florida beats FSU 10-2, pretty solidly in the playoff, I think. Kentucky, Louisville beats Kentucky. Miller Moss is going to be really good this year. Ole Miss beats Mississippi State 8-4, barely misses it out on the playoff again. LSU 10-2, they win 10-2 solidly in the playoff. I think Clemson beats South Carolina not easily, and then Vanderbilt beats Tennessee, and then Texas beats A&M. So these are my final standings. It's weird. This isn't what I had in the SEC championship in our thing, but it's kind of just how I feel. Going game by game. That one was just kind of basically doing whatever I wanted. But yeah, these were the final standings of the SEC. After that, we had Mississippi State getting last, not winning a single game in conference. That's unfortunate for them. But I think this right here, this gets 5 teams of the SEC into the playoff and a potential 6 based on the other field. It really does. And then if this were to happen, so we go down now, week 15, this would be my SEC championship, and then I think Alabama would be LSU again, and so that would be it. And then yeah, so these are my college football or my SEC college football records. I think this is what happens, and then those top 5 teams right there: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Texas, LSU. I had all 5 of those teams in my playoff last year, and then or not last year, and when I did the predictions a couple weeks ago, and now I think sorry guys, now I think that's what happens. But yeah, let me know what you guys think I missed. Did I have Oklahoma doing too well? Did I not have Texas A&M doing well enough? Is Florida overrated? I could be a homer. You guys see that sign right there? You never know. But yeah, let me know what I missed. Let me know who you guys you think are gonna meet in the SEC championship, and also comment down below who you guys think is going to make the playoffs out of the SEC. And does the SEC finally break their drought 2 years of not winning a national championship? But yeah, please like, subscribe, put that notification bell on so you know when we go live, and peace out.